So let's just settle into our meditation posture. Let me just check. There we are. Hang on. There we go. All right. And if you are sitting at a desk, on a chair, and your feet are down on the ground, make sure they're in a parallel position. And maybe your hips width apart. And take a nice deep breath. And if you are in the regular cross-legged position, you can put a couple of cushions under your knees if your knees are tight. And there's Mary, welcome. And have something firm underneath your sits bones and raised, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Hands in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left, and the thumbs touching. And try and align your shoulders with your hips. And let's just imagine our spines are a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. And you can imagine your head is reaching for the stars, the crown. And imagine someone is above, very gently lengthening that spine. So you're really just coaxing all those tiny muscles along the spine to just lengthen. And the head is slightly tipped forward, eyes down, looking along the length of the nose and the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And relax the jaw. Let's bring your awareness to the crown of the head again and relax the scalp, the forehead, and the eyes, back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, and your lips can be slightly apart. Relax that area around the mouth, and then bring your awareness to the back of the head, at the base of the skull, that occipital, and relax the scalp there, and your ears, your temples, the inner ear, and the jaw, the back of the tongue. And if there's any tension in the back of the neck, just let that go. Just release the back of the neck, the shoulders. Allow your shoulder blades to drop down. And just keep lengthening. This is really important when you're meditating, to not be slumped over, because you want to keep all the energy flowing nicely, smoothly. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly. And the limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. Noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling, slightly cooler than the air you're exhaling. And notice if there's any sounds in your environment, just allow them to be there. And notice what sounds your mind is attracted to, what distracted by. And then bring the mind back to the breath as any sounds, if they're there, just fade into the background. And then notice your mind, your feelings. How are you showing up this evening? And no judgment. But just notice, am I feeling happy or am I a bit grumpy? Am I feeling a bit down? Am I feeling a bit stressed, busy? And then try and put some space in between the thoughts. trying not to follow them or turn them into a big story or engaging too much. So just try and take a step back as an interested, objective observer as we put ourselves down on the bank of our river and watch the river flow by. Because while we're sitting on the bank, we're free from the river, this river of mental moments. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life, our very dear friends, our loved ones, our siblings, our children, our spouses, our besties, work colleagues. These are the people that we have constructive and functional relationships with, who we love. And then there's those people we have some difficulty with. And then there's our strangers. Oh my goodness, I saw so many today in San Francisco, on the ferry going into the city, on the ferry coming back, seals in the water, ginormous seagulls. We don't have seagulls that big in Australia, I tell you, they're huge here. So many sentient beings and so many strangers, each going about their own life, each having their own worries, their own happinesses, their own sadnesses and their own tragedies, fleetingly in our lives. And we have very little concern for them. We see them, we notice them for a second. But this friend, this enemy, and this stranger can all change place at any time. And they're all deserving of our equal concern. Why? Because the friend, the enemy, and the stranger all have this wish to be free from suffering, this wish to be happy, and they have this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So we're going to counteract that this evening by creating positivity. And the first of the 4 opponent powers is the power of regret. So first of all, sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason for regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we understand about suffering, we don't want any more. So logically it makes sense that we would remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And also regret our delusions, our anger and attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and again think, I'm sick of this suffering. So who can I turn to? What can I do about it? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking Buddha to forgive us. We're not needing him to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. We're healing ourselves using these methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also think that perhaps this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. This is your spiritual guide. He is made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus, which, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but untainted by them. He has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all the people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. He's wearing a 5-pointed crown embedded with jewels. He's wearing jewelry all over his body and silken scarves and robes similar to that in the Royal Indian style he's wearing. He has an aura of light around his head and his body. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. Now, this is just a sense, may you not suffer, may you be free from suffering. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently, and then also maybe think of someone who's harmed you, and although this is a little bit more difficult, have some compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm that they've done for you. So we make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine. I'm doing the practice, recitation of the mantra and visualization of the light and nectar. So first we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose or a waterfall, or you can imagine like Niagara Falls, very, very powerful, from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepiyatsa Sawa Kama Zeta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepiyatsa Sawa Kama Zeta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anaraktamibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is the purification of speech. And again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. And this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and it overflows quite powerfully, quite forcefully, and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Supokaya Mibhawa Anarakta Mibhawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy, really rejoice. Your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So as soon as they hear the sound of your voice, it benefits their mind. And just imagine that every word, every syllable that comes out of your mouth benefits others, including yourself. So next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. So just as the light hits your heart, the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression and bitterness and grudges and jealousies, all of this instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sapokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Minta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sapokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your suffering, all of our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there is no space now in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So if you wish, you can recite a couple of mantras each for the visualizations of the body and of the speech and of the mind that we've just done. Or if you wish, you can also just recite or think of light and nectar pouring into you, filling you completely, and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita. Keep going. Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sudam shriyam guruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me boa sutokaya me boa sapakaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me boa sutokaya me boa sapakaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me boa sutokaya me boa sapokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me boa sutokaya me boa sapokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Now feel completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. But first of all, just rejoice that you've even turned up this evening. Whether you come once or whether you come 100 times, still just rejoice. Amazing. Maybe if you're tired, you've got something else you want to do, maybe you want to relax, but you still came, so that's fantastic. And then rejoice in the efforts in trying to counteract some of your habits, these things that are harmful to ourselves and others, whether it be with our speech or something that we do, accidentally swatting a fly or a mosquito. So just bring something to mind that you'd like to work on, that you know is harmful to yourself and to others, and give yourself a timeline, whether it be, well, I'm going to refrain from doing this thing for 3 seconds, or overnight while I'm sleeping. Make it doable for you, for yourself. And we just decide. We make a decision when we aspire to get to a point where we don't have any of these harmful habits left. And this determination to not do these harmful things again is what gives us the strength to change. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wanting to merge with your mind. It melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call that union oneness. So Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So we can just think maybe of all phenomena as being empty, they do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification this evening to all living beings, to all the people of your life, thinking may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Rinpoche. O tub shul chang shin jam gone Galloway, Tenzing kyang pel wei kunzo dog porze. Chog sum kur wei leg mon tu drum. Pa dag sog dulje kon du jab ten shog. For Lama Yeshe, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Cherub, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Another day gone. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you so very much. Thank you for hosting, Shayla. And sleep well, everybody. Good night, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.